Yes. So let us now discuss importance of foreign capital. So the importance definitely it has been displayed in your PPT. So can you pick a point and tell me what that might be? Or what do you, let us take the first one, integration. What do you mean by integration? What is integration? Forget about the rest of the thing. What are we speaking here regarding integration? What is integration, students? Combination, combining two, working together, that is integration. So how does foreign capital flows brings integration? What might be that? Yes? What is it? Now, as we said, your foreign capital, it brings in internationalization. Yes? What is internationalization? The whole economy, you try to move from your economy to some other economy. Yes, and also from closed economy, the economies are becoming opened one. The best example is that of our country itself. Up until 91, until the economic reforms were being taken up, our economy, most of the part it was a closed economy. Yes, once after the LPG reforms were taken by our country is being now considered as open economy. Yes, internationalization happens, the closed economies become opened one. Yes, and as we said earlier, when a country has surplus to invest, definitely there would be outflow of cash. All these things brings in integration. The next one is technology. What regarding technology? What might be this? Yes, improved technology how in terms of exchanging. What else? Now, you just remember or observe the trend. Usually this capitalization or foreign direct investment has been done by a developed country in a place where labors are available for cheap and technology is low. Yes, now those two were the main features of developing countries earlier. Yes, when the labor is cheap and technology is low, if I go and invest money in such countries, definitely because of having superior technology, will I pass it on to the place where it is not there? Not with the intention of helping them, with the intention of serving my own company. Yes, that is to tell, imagine a smartphone company. Same company might have invested in two different countries. One developed countries where the smartphones are highly developed and one more developing. Not today, might be 10 years earlier, right? If I have invested there, will I sit that, yes, this country's technology is not good, let me go with that? Or will I bring my technology which I have already developed to the country where there is no technology? What will I do as a company? Yes, Raksha. You'll bring not with the intention of helping, but with the intention of doing your own business. But indirectly, the technology is being developed. Yes? The best example was, what we can take is, the different countries reaching out to the space. Yes? Earlier it was, I do my thing. I am not going to share my knowledge with some other country. They had to develop their own. Yes? With your Russia and America, if you take example. Yes? Or might be during Second World War. The weapons what they came, they each had to develop. Right? Even that is technology, in other words. But now what happens with technology? The one who has the superior technology, they sell it to the others who has inferior ones. Yes? Know-how is now being exchanged to the most extent. For that matter, today the investment is being done in the field of technology itself. Yes? Now you can shop worldwide. Yes, sit here, click something, get it from anywhere of the world. But that is been possible only because of technology. Maybe the mass production, might be economies of the scale. All the things happened because of technology. The next one is penetration of products. What do you mean by penetration of products? That's where, you remember somebody had done notes together. In our Kannada, we call it as Atti of marketing subject and had shared in your Google Classroom regarding marketing management, maybe before 4-5 months, 6 months. Yes? Went in the air with the pandemic. See, that's what I had said earlier. Your marketing management is very important because of this reason. Now, whatever was there in marketing, it is going to come. Doesn't matter you are HR specialized one, you are marketing specialized one, or FM specialized one. Your marketing management is going to come in all the things being a MBA graduate. Now, speaking regarding your penetration is nothing but you grasp something, you penetrate. Okay? Here we are telling it in terms of the foreign investment brings in foreign competition. Okay? And it increases the number of products which could be offered for the people. Now, people have more choice, as I said earlier, how it was before the country was open to the other countries and how it is now. Yes? Is that the best example? Yes? Maybe earlier when only less people were investing here in our country, we had less options. Now that more and more people are investing, we have more and more, right? For that matter, take into consideration maybe your life insurance. Earlier it was only LIC. LIC does LIC has life insurance? I mean health insurance? Yes? No? What is it? I do not know. See, now all these things is what matters when you step out of the college. Even this has happened with me. Study the books, not enough. You should know how life would be there. Otherwise, we'll go there and do blah, 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 blah. What? Come back. No, don't do that. In general terms, know what it is. Okay? Now, tomorrow's work, today's work, you'll go and see whether life insurance of India gives any kind of health insurance. Yeah, if you are sure, I am also sure. If you don't know, I don't know. Okay? Now, earlier maybe only LIC you had as an option or the government insurance companies. Now, a lot of companies provide. For that matter, in terms of your vehicle insurance also. Yes? Now, that all those things happened only because of globalization. And when you do speak of globalization, it is nothing but your foreign investment. All other kinds of investment are definitely there, like that of labor, that of technology, but the one thing which is mostly being invested is your capital. Yes, for that matter, you might have seen, they would give money, we should come up with all our resources. That is also possible, right? For that matter, our country's location, building, the people who work in there, they just give the money, right? That is nothing but your capital. Now the next one is utilization of productive capacity. What is that? It is nothing but in simple words, maximum utilization of resources. Now this word from the beginning of our first PUC in different subjects we are using, right? Maximum utilization of resource, or for that matter utilization of productive capacity. How is it being done here? In terms of what? Money, okay. To tell it in general terms, when I go in internationally, the demand for the products increases. Yes, when the demand increases, if at all it is possible, then the utilization of the capacity would be for the maximum extent. That is to tell, now I own a company, might be mine is the FMCG product, or let us be very specific that I do produce a soap. Yes, in my country I do have competition. Yes, okay. Having said all those things, might be the capacity of my plant is that in a day I produce 1 lakh soaps. But the demand might not be so much. The demand might be 60,000 soaps per day. So having said that, having so many problems like storage problem and distributing problem, I will decide only to produce 60,000 soaps per day. That demand is from the home country. But now when I go global, might be there are chances that the demand increases. Might be the demand would be 1,10,000 or 90,000 for that matter. Now whether there is some increase in the productive capacity or the utilization of productive capacity. Now it is because um, there is demand. It is not that 60,000 of worth of goods I am producing. I would produce 90,000 or to the maximum of 1,10,000. Yes, that's what has happened in online classes. So many people, their houses, whatever their pets, the animals that you tend to have in your home, I have heard from every house in my home. Okay, coming back to your lesson, the next one is risk sharing. What is that? What risk sharing? Now here, to be specific, we can take an example of joint venture. And in the joint venture, maybe one of the partner is from home country, one is from the host country. And when they decide to do business, what happens? There would be sharing of everything, right? Maybe in terms of investment, there would be certain percentage how much each partner would be investing. And in terms of doing business, how much would be the share of one and how much would be the other. When that happens, definitely there would be sharing in terms of risk also. That is to tell, the risk sharing component of foreign investment would be benefited for both host country and home country equal. Now the next and most important one is competition. You can write pages together. Yes, what is it? Okay. Before competition, you should see what situation if there is no competition. Half of the explanation comes from there, right? Now, when it is a protected economy, when there is no competition at all, what happens? There would be no much options available for doing business, or there would be restriction in terms of growth. Yes, but with competition, what happens? Or when you remove all these restrictions, the trade barriers, you lessen the rules and regulation, the market is open. There is more opportunity. Yes? Now, when there is competition, one more defect of that is that there would be less productive utilization. Yes, the customers would not be benefited. But with competition, all the benefit happens, at least in terms of theory. That you should always remember. Now, how the practical market works is very much different than what we speak in terms of theory. That is always the truth. Okay? For that matter, remember, no matter what reduction or anything that they come up with, see, a businessman's main intention is doing business, earning profit. No matter how much I tell I reduce your price, I would be such a person who would not make even a single rupee loss for myself. Okay? That is the truth of every business. That is how you will have to be when you do business. Otherwise, you cannot survive in the market. Right? You want to, because you have profit, you can do anything. You do not have profit, you have to just shut it down and sit. For that matter, you might have 50% reduction, 80% reduction. Now, that are the different forms of dumping, right? We speak dumping in terms of international. Now, in international trade, what happens? Because I do not have demand in my country, okay, there is demand somewhere else in the world, there I can go and sell it. But when selling, what I do is, I compare my home countries. Okay, there I do not have demand at all. If I had to sell only there, might be for me 100% was loss. Now, when I have come to a host country, even there the price might be 100. But for me, even if I sell it for 1 rupees, it is a profit, right? So, I take a bad method of reducing the price. That is called as dumping. You come here, you sell it to the same price of what the market is, then it is not treated as dumping. Dumping happens only when you use unfair trade practice by reducing the price. Now, when you have sales, that is what they do. Now, a cloth might be 1000 rupees. There is 50% reduction, you put 80% reduction. Even though it was not necessary for me to buy, I would go and buy. My thinking would be, yes, now it is less. Even though I do not want it now, I can use it for the future. Right? Now, actually, it is not that they have reduced 80% for me. Actually, they have made me spend my 20% of money. That is the other way around, which we normally do not see. Correct? If the reduction was not there, I would not have bought it at all. Correct? I would have just passed by there. Now, because reduction is there, my brain thinks that I have saved 80%, which in actual terms I have spent 20% unknowingly. That is how the reality is. Okay? Now, speaking about your last point, that is economic growth. What is economic growth here? Definitely, the investment of the foreign capital helps or encourages economic growth. It could be directly or indirectly. Directly, when we spoke regarding official flows, it happens indirectly with commercial loans or the investment. Yes, their aim would be the betterment of their organization, but in pursuit of that aim, they would have helped the economy to grow. The next one is factors affecting international capital flow. What are the factors which might, affect international capital flow? It is being displayed there, right? Yes, rate of interest. How does it happen? Yes. In terms of foreign capital, can you tell me? Yes. So what happens? Now the capital flows from where to where? Yes. Why? Yes. Okay. Here, when rate of interest here speaking, we are speaking in terms of what interest we can earn on the investment. Yes. If at all the situation is that a country is being, giving or paying more interest compared to some other country, then definitely the capitals would flow from less interested ones to the high interested one. Okay? Why? Once again, the same reason. I, being a businessman, I see the opportunity where I can earn more. That's it. That is the ultimate thing. What happens in the business? The next one is profit motives. Foreign capital movement. What is that? Profit motives. Yes, once again. Yes. Anybody else would like to tell? Now that is the main thing, right? Profit motive. He will see where or in which place he can earn more profit. When the profit motives, you should always remember the rate of interest also. Okay? The more the rate of interest would be there will be more motives or more chances of profit. And people tend to invest in such places. How many of you here belongs to FM? 1, 2, 3. Not FM. Yes. 6. Okay. Now what you should do is that whenever you have the same topics in two different things, see to that you prepare yourself for FM. Because when you prepare for FM, you can speak it in terms of general. When you prepare for general, might be you will be a bit difficulty in preparing for your FM. That is to tell difficult in terms of, there is nothing to prepare as such. What, the thing which helps, if you prepare that, usually you come and tell there is no time to write. Now when you prepare and go, there would be time to everything. It is only that matter, okay? Otherwise what? We have to sit, think and write. Now when you know there is no thinking much, there is only writing. Okay. Yes. Now once again, as I said, profit especially comes from the return on investment. Wherever a business can earn more return on their investment, they would go and invest in such country. The next one is production cost. How does production cost affect, and how does it influence the capital flows? Now, factors affecting or factor influencing is nothing but either it will help in bringing the capital or it will result in removing the capital from our economy. Correct? That is what is meant by factors influencing. Now, how does production cost affects? Hmm. Investment will be? Yes. Yes. Correct? Now, what we were discussing, that a country where there is less labor cost, we tend to shift our production from the place where there is more labor cost. Labor cost is one such factor of production or production cost which tend to be the highest, right? So, whenever I as a country, if the production cost and especially if the labor cost of my country is low, definitely it does attract people from the developed countries or from countries where production cost would be higher. Yes? See, now technology, you invest one time, you have technology for certain time period. Assets you invest until that asset goes to, it is worn off, you have that asset. But what about labor cost? For every single minute a labor works, you have to pay. Yes. So can you imagine how much amount they can save when they have less labor costs? Yes. Not only that, if at all to some extent the labor are skillful, it would provide still more opportunities. That is what has happened with India and China. Yes, their labor definitely is cheaper. They do have skills, right? Compared to some other underdeveloped countries, the labor here, now labor doesn't mean that they have to work on the field. Here labor means the entire personnel of or the HR of a company. Everybody is a labor, right? The next one is government policies. Now, what regarding government policies? That is to tell, it goes without telling that government policies has an effect on foreign capital flow. The more flexible the policies would be, the more attraction of foreign capital happens. The more rigid the government policies, rules and regulations would be, then those who will have to invest would think twice or thrice, or only they would invest if your country is the last possible option for them. The next one is infrastructure facilities. Okay, political factors. What regarding political factors? What is it? Yes, now government policies are anyhow it is there. What is this political factors? How is it different? Uh, okay. Now as how we discussed government policy based on flexibility and rigidity, or based on flexibility, openness and closedness, political factors, we tend to tell it in terms of being stable and unstable. Okay. Now, on political factors, it is necessary that whichever is the ruling party, okay, it doesn't matter when we tell. Because what matters is how much stable that particular economist's political factor is. Okay. There are countries where the parties changes in a year, 2-year ones, 3-year ones. There is no any kind of stability. Now in India, whichever party might rule, but the stability would be there for at least we know 5 years. Yes, the stableness is there compared to other underdeveloped countries or developing countries. Now that is the intent from the point of view that because it is the political stability which makes the rules and regulations. Now, one party might come up with certain rules and regulations. Now, those rules and regulations, for me as a foreign investor, it might have provided some investing opportunity. But because I know that government is stable in some country for such certain period of time, I can be sure that for the next coming 5 years, I would not have to face any kind of uncertainty, at least in terms of political matters. The computer is acting weird. Now, last one is infrastructural facility. What regarding this infrastructural facility? Yes, in respect of what you need infrastructure when the capital flow has to be. Now, infrastructure facilities, there are many things, right? When you as a country, you as an economy, if you have to attract, foreign capital, what are the things that will have to be necessarily be in a country? Banking should be there. Banking facilities should be there. Yes. Now, when we are speaking capital flow, forget the rest infrastructure like might be road, building, any other thing. The banking facility or financial institutions should be better. Yes. The first and the foremost is the financial institution, or in other words, what we call as integrated banking. Okay. And that particular thing helps or makes globalization much easier. Now, having said this, for this particular session, we shall wind it up here. And in our coming session, we shall discuss the rest of the. Wait until I take down your attendance.